I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, I'm going to hit you with a bunch of topics today, rapid fire here. So here we go. A headline in the Vancouver Sun a couple of weeks ago. More than 2,000 condos sitting empty in Metro Vancouver. And it says this number, a report found that this could rise to over 3,500 empty condos by the end of the year. Yeah, I see it downtown here all over the place. So a lot of that is newer brand new condos that have just gotten occupancy permits. And these people have had a change of circumstance and are trying to sell them now. They always want to try and sell them, at what they paid for them or a little bit of profit. And of course, the market is not participating. They're all going to take losses for the most part on these, or they're trying to rent them. So one or the other, or it's a tangible unit, a 10, 15-year-old condo. I've got 3 of them listed in downtown Vancouver right now, where the tenant has left, and then we've decided to list it, or in one of the cases, we did a mutual agreement and tenancy to get the tenant out. So they're currently listed for sale, vacant. So, this is the way it is. You can thank the NDP for a lot of these because, again, you don't want to sell a home with a tenant in it. You're nuts these days. You're leaving money on the table in your presentation. The home's not going to show well. In a lot of cases, it's going to show terrible. You can't sell it to an investor because that investor does not want to assume you're a tenant under any circumstances. And if the tenant's been in there for more than 2 or 3 years, is paying way below market rent, and you can't raise the rent up to market. So for those reasons, and then the final thing is this whole cash for keys and tenants not leaving, even if you do sell it and file all the proper paperwork, they don't leave and you're in breach of contract. So you can thank EB for that. You're out of your mind to sell a condo that's still tenanted. You want to sell it vacant. So, this is going to get worse. I could see this easily pumping up to 3,500 units by the end of the year. Currently in the Vancouver Real Estate Board, I think we hit 16,000 listings, which is, I think, a 10-year high for the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board. Now, mind you, populations have grown quite a bit as well. So I think if you look at it compared to what the population was back 10 years ago, but we're still high. 16,000 listings, it's a lot. Highest it's been in 10 years. Another headline here, this has been in the news a little bit. BC pushes ahead with short-term rental crackdown on Airbnb. So as you guys know, I've done a few blogs. You've got to be licensed. Still a lot of legal Airbnbs out there, but the city's, really coming down hard on those. Now, listen, I've told you guys, I'm not a fan of Airbnb. In most strata in downtown, do not allow Airbnb. It's in the bylaws. I'd say 95% of the stratas downtown, it's illegal. No Airbnb whatsoever. In the other 5%, you have to be a principal owner of the home. You have to live in it for at least 6 months out of the year, and then you can rent it the other 6 months with a license and follow all the rules and regulations. But I've told you guys, it would never pass in my building because we're about 90% owner occupied. And I certainly would never want a unit next door to me or on my floor being run as an Airbnb. No way. But I've often said there are a lot of buildings that are mostly owned by investors that have a 75% investor owned. Buyers in there know that it's an investor building. Those can be fine for running Airbnb, in my opinion, because everyone's in the same boat in that building. And the makeup of the units, it's a lot of 1 bedrooms. But, I wouldn't want one beside me. But, it's funny, this is, again, the fallout with what government tells us. Yeah, they want to crack down on Airbnb. Great. Sounds good on paper. However, we have a major hotel shortage in Vancouver. I read here that I think Vancouver has the highest occupancy rate of any major city in North America, hotel occupancy rate. And as you guys know, hotels here, have a look on Expedia. Take a look at what our hotel rates are in June, July, and August, or during some special event in September or around Christmas time. Our rates just skyrocket. There was some things in the news here about, one of our biggest businesses is tourism. But we turn away thousands of tourists every year that would love to come up to Vancouver, but have a look at a 3-star hotel, nothing fancy downtown that they want $450, $500 a night for, plus tax. So it's kind of one of those things, you cut off your nose in spite of your face, or they don't give you both sides of the story. Sure, cracking down on Airbnb is great, But we have a hotel shortage. It's not like we can house tourism with the hotels we have. We have a major shortage, which thus in turn prevents people from visiting Vancouver with their tourist dollars. We're giving up, according to the article I read, hundreds of millions of dollars in lost tourism revenue because people just don't want to shell out $800 a night for a hotel or can't find a hotel at all. So Airbnb does provide a pretty good service that way. It gives you a good overflow from the hotels and it encourages tourism, people to come up here and spend money. But hey, we don't think that way in BC with the NDP. It's not, we don't run it as a business. How can we restrict things along the way? And then they wonder why our economy isn't that great. Final thing here. Another article on pre-sale condos and buyers that are in some serious trouble. Vancouver pre-sale condos sold in 2021, 2022 are now appraised well below their original purchase price. So yeah, this is people, these pre-sales now, as I've told you guys, why they're dangerous, is they keep stretching out that completion time. We've got some now where you might buy it and not get keys on it for 7 or 8 years by the time this building is complete. And, a lot of things can happen in that 7 or 8 years. Job loss, divorce, job transfer, disability. And one of the main things here now is interest rates. So, remember, when you buy a pre-sale, you do not qualify for the mortgage at that time. They won't approve you because the building hasn't even been built yet. So they'll give you a ballpark idea based on what your contract purchase price is that you can qualify for. But things can change. So you bought a condo for $1 million in 2022, and now the bank thinks it's getting ready for completion. We think it's only worth $900,000 now. You're in trouble. We've approved you at $1 million. Now it's only appraised at $900,000. So you've got to come up with another $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, depending on the price, down payment to make those numbers work to get your mortgage. And that's why you see so many of these being sold as assignments. These are people that have had a change of circumstance, and one of them is that the unit has been going down in value since they bought it, and now they can't get the financing. It's a terrible situation to be in. I've told you guys about trying to sell a condo as an assignment. Good luck. In some cases, I can refer you to a couple of specialty realtors that can maybe take you on as a client, because you have to advertise it through third-party channels. You can't put it on the MLS, which makes it very difficult to get exposure. And then, of course, the other thing is when a buyer sees that you're trying to sell this as an assignment, he sees yours and 20 others. He smells blood in the water. He knows that there's a reason why you're trying to get out of this contract. So they're not going to offer you anywhere near what you think market value is. So this is going to continue on here. We're market is treading water, or maybe even going slightly down right now on the condo market. So for people that bought a condo maybe 3 years ago, when the prices were much higher, they might not get keys for another couple more years. This appraised price could come down even further, which is going to make it even more difficult to get that financing, or the bank is going to say to you, no problem, we can do the financing, but you need to kick in another $75,000 down to make the numbers work. So it's a real quagmire a lot of these people face. It's one of the risks that I tell you guys with pre-sale. It's just so many unknowns with it, and the timelines on these keep getting longer and longer. In the olden days, you could buy a pre-sale and get keys in 2 years. I've told many times, 6 years ago, one that I bought in Olympic Village, built by Bastion on Ontario Street. I bought one and got 3 other clients in on others. The building was almost complete. They didn't pre-sell it. They waited till the building was about 90% finished before they pre-sold them. So you could buy them and get your keys in 2.5 months. Those days are long over now. Now, some of these ones that are being completed now, these people bought these 6, 7, 8 years ago. And of course now, I think I told you guys, developers are asking for a longer extension on these dates for pre-selling. Right now, I believe they only have 12 months to secure enough sales before they can move forward with the financing. Now they're asking for 18 months. And I'm with them on it, because pre-sale right now is in a world of hurt. They need more time to sell these pre-sales, but all it does, remember guys, is just extend out the time it's going to be until that building's complete. Because the final thing I'll say, when you get your disclosure statement at a pre-sale presentation, it'll have in there the estimated time of completion, but don't fall for it. In the fine print, there's what they call an outside date or a drop dead date. And that's another 18 months to 2 years beyond that estimated completion date. And the builder has to have that because so many things can go wrong. We had COVID here, which delayed projects by 6 months or more. I had one out in New Westminster in the quay down there, where they had to drive pilings and everything along the river, and they ran into some engineering issues, which took another 6 or 7 months to solve. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong, which just extend out these time frames. The longer you have on a pre-sale from the time you get keys, the more problems that can happen, for sure. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to all my new subscribers. I'll see you next week.